Hello there and welcome. Today's video is all about leadership. What you're about to watch is a tiny portion of one of my masterclasses on leadership titled NGL, which stands for Next Generation Leadership. In this program, we have three major sections. Section 1 here is where we focus on the 11 personality traits of the greatest leaders ever, right? And then we discover how you can get these personality traits. Then we move on to section 2 here, where we focus on the 10 skills that makes leaders great, that makes leaders successful, that makes leaders influential and impactful and inspiring. From here, we move on to section 3, where we focus on analyzing and understanding leadership as a choice. Is leadership a choice? If it is a choice, for example, is it a choice between manipulating or influence? Or is it a choice between reacting versus responding? Or is it a choice between blaming and taking ownership, right? So that's section 3, and that is the overall program. What you are about to watch is the first personality trait of a leader, which I call as the primary personality trait of a leader. Go ahead, enjoy the lesson. I'll see you at the end of this video. Hello there and welcome back. In this video, we're going to focus on the personality trait, primary personality trait that makes leaders great. And let's do a quick Google search for the phrase primary personality trait of a leader. What we have, or what I have here, is 71.8 million results delivered to me in 0.55 seconds. The first article here comes to us from entrepreneur.com, and which lists down the 7 character traits exceptional leaders have in common. First one is possess high levels of self-control. Second, stay clear of drama. Third, seekers of truth. 4, place courage over fear. 5th, empathy towards self and others. 6th, self-aware. 7, maintain and nurture their reputation. Now, just to give a benefit of doubt, let's go to second link in this list of 71.8 million answers, which comes to us from corporatefinanceinstitute.com. And this lists us leadership traits list of top qualities of an effective leader. So let's go to the link and find out what are the top leadership traits. The first one we have here is effective communicators. The second one is accountable and responsible. The third one is long-term thinkers. Self-motivated is 4th. 5th is confident. 6th is people-oriented. 7th is emotionally stable, etc. and etc. Right? So these are the top 7. So we can go back and go to the third one, which is Forbes, which shows 11 powerful traits of successful leaders. And here the list says first is self-managing, second is acting strategically, third one is being an effective communicator, fourth one is being accountable and responsible, and fifth one is setting clear goals and persisting in achieving them. 6 is having a vision for the future. So if I just take all these top qualities or personality traits of a leader and put them on the screen, this is how they are going to look. Now we have all seen what Google has to offer. Now I would encourage you to do a little bit of thinking and imagining and asking questions with me to understand what is the primary personality trait that makes leaders great. Let's imagine a scenario, but before imagining, I'm assuming that you all know who Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi or Mahatma Gandhi was. Okay, with that assumption, let's now imagine a platform, train platform in South Africa, where Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi was supposedly kicked onto the platform from his first class compartment. Irrespective of having a first class ticket, he was thrown out to the platform because of the color of his skin. And it is said that on that platform, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi made a resolution to bring freedom to his country and to his countrymen. Now, in this scenario, when Mahatma Gandhi or Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi is fallen on the platform making this resolution, which of the personality traits is an action? Do you think it's self-motivation? Do you think it's master communicator? Do you think it's empathy? Do you think it's any of the other skills that the Google has given us? Or do you think that on that platform, when Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi was making a resolution to bring freedom to his country and his countrymen, the primary personality trait in action was courage? Yes. The answer to the question, what is the primary personality trait that makes leaders great, is courage. Number one is courage. Answer is found, lesson learned, we can now go back home, isn't it? Now, people who know me, and if you have been consuming my stuff, you have been going in through DYD courses, then you know that I don't operate on the surface. We have just touched the surface of the question, what is the primary personality trait that makes leaders great? Now, to go to the level below the surface, we use the weapon called questions. The question that we should be asking now is, why does leaders need courage? Or leaders need courage as a primary personality trait to do exactly what? The answer is tenfold. Yes, I have 10 answers to this single question. Why do leaders need to be courageous? The first answer is what I'm going to share with you in this video. The first answer is leaders need courage to do the right thing. Once again, leaders need courage to do the right thing. Now, there are three different scenarios into this. So leaders need to do the right thing when they know that the end result is not going to be in their favor, right? The second scenario, leaders need to show courage to do the right thing even when no one is watching. And the third scenario is leaders need to have courage to do the right thing even when they're alone. Nobody is there to support their vision, to support their goal, to support their dreams. They still do the right thing because they know it's the right thing to do. So once again, leadership is all about courage as your primary personality trait. Why do you need courage? You need first courage to do the right thing, even when you know the end result is not going to be in your favor. And you need courage to do the right thing even when nobody is watching you. And finally, you need to have courage to do the right thing even when you're alone and you do not have any support around you. Allow me to quickly share a story with you which will help you understand what do I mean when I tell that as a leader you need to have courage to do the right thing even when you know the end result might not be in your favor. The story comes to you from my 5th standard or 4th standard or 6th standard Odia literature book. I was an Odia medium student, and this story comes to you from my land, Odisha, the state of Odisha. And the time was 13th century. And the kingdom of Kalinga at that time was ruled by a king named Langula Narasingha Deva. Okay, so that's how we pronounce it in Odia, Langula Narasingha Deva. And he had this grandiose plan of creating a temple, right? That will be spectacular. That was too grandiose as a plan, I believe. But that plan was to create a temple in the shape of a chariot of the sun god with 24 wheels which represent the 24 hours of the day. And the plan was grandiose because of the structure of the chariot. The second condition was given was that the first ray of the sun every day, 365 days, it has to hit the sun inside the temple, right? So that was the other thing. The third thing was the temple was supposed to be built on the joint of River Chandrabhaga and Bay of Bengal. And the temple was supposed to be half in the ocean, half on the land. So it was a huge plan. And today Konark Temple or Konark Sun Temple is one of the World Heritage Sites, right? So this is about that construction. And the construction was about to begin, and the team of 1,200 craftsmen, top-class craftsmen from all over the country were invited for this project. And this project was headed by a sculptor, Odia sculptor named Vishu Maharana. Okay, Vishu Maharana. He was leading this pack of 1,200 sculptures, and the target was to complete this entire temple in 5 years of time. A little bit of a flashback. When Vishu was leaving his house for this project, he had his wife pregnant, right? So he doesn't know, or he didn't know at that time, that he had a son who is growing up. And the project initially was, as I said, planned for 5 years, but it was not complete till 12 years. Here the son at home was growing worried, growing anxious to meet his father, because he has never seen his father, and he hears that his father is one of the great sculptors of the time, right? So he keeps requesting and then fighting with his mom. And when he was 12 years of age, mom allows, because you have to understand, in 13th century, when you are 12 or 14, you are getting married and you're starting your own family, right? So he could not be content, and the mother allowed to go. So the son, whose name was Dharmapada, he left to meet his father at Konarka. After a few days of journey, he reaches to Konarka and asks around and finds his father, meets the father, and the father and son both are very happy, and it was a joyful moment and it's a memorable moment. But somehow Dharmapada understands or kind of feels that his father is not as happy as he should be. So he asks, "Father, what is wrong?" And he looks around and sees that other sculptors are also worried. And the day was about to start. So he asks around, "What's wrong, Father? Why everybody is looking so worried?" And everybody kind of explained that the initial plan was to build the temple in 5 years. Now 12 years is complete, and the king has given us an ultimatum to finish the temple by tomorrow morning. And the struggle we have is this huge sun god's chariot. Everything is complete. The top crown jewel of the chariot, we have been making it and putting it there. It's either falling down or it's breaking, and we have not been able to successfully put the crown jewel and complete the work. The king has given an ultimatum that if by tomorrow morning, the crown jewel is not in its place and the work is not complete, all 1200 of us will be beheaded. Dharmapada's heart sank after listening to this, because his father is going to die. So he was desperate. He thought for a second. He said, "Can I help? Can I go there and try?" And then everybody was kind of surprised for a second. Then somebody started laughing, and they started commenting, "If 1200 expert sculptors of the country couldn't complete something, why do you think a 12-year-old boy like you could complete this work?" And he said, "I don't know that. I just want to give it a try because I want to save my dad." And to that also, all the sculptors started opposing, because they said, "What if you can actually fix it and the king comes to know about it? Because if it's known that what 1200 expert sculptors couldn't do, that was fixed by a 12-year-old boy, do you think he's going to spare us or he's going to still behead us?" The answer was pretty obvious. But still, Dharmapada said, "I want to give it one try, just for my dad." So he was allowed. He went to the top of the temple, and then he tried, right? And by the end of the day, he was successful in putting the crown jewel at the chariot's top. The temple's work was complete. But then, when he looked upon the people that are amassed, 1200 people, sculptures, he knew what is going through their minds, right? So he took a leap and jumped into Bay of Bengal, giving his life and saving 1200 lives in the process. Sometimes his effort was a folklore, but this is a literature book, and we have studied it as a textbook. So I believe the story was true. I have not done a Google search on this one, but I believe in the story, and I think it was true. Now, this is the lesson, and I hope this story tells you or communicates to you what I meant when I said that as a leader, you need to have courage to do the right thing, even when you know the end result might not be in your favor. Hello there and welcome. I hope you thoroughly enjoyed the lesson around the primary personality trait that makes leaders great. Now, if you want to learn more about the remaining 10 personality traits of the greatest leaders of the world and the 10 skills that makes leaders successful, highly effective, highly impactful, influential and inspiring, do not miss this opportunity to join me on my mega masterclass on leadership on the 6th of March from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. India time All the details in the link below. Go click on the link, secure your spot today, and do not forget to invite your colleagues and your friends and your network into this mega event where I'll be discussing about all the 11 personality traits of the greatest leaders of the world and the 10 skills that will make you one of the greatest leaders. So go ahead, register yourself, and I'll see you inside.